G'day and welcome to the last episode of Tech Adept Crafts as it stands. From this point on, we are changing. Patreon will be live in 2 weeks, and today's episode is a preview of that. Today's episode is an interview with our designer, Ian Lovecraft, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I've had a huge amount of fun working with Ian, and I really look forward to the year or years to come. In front of you is the year in review, because TAC is 1 year old. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. I really appreciate it, and I really look forward to spending the next few years with you as well as we journey through our craft goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy the interview. It's not so much an interview, it's two old guys having a chat about hobby goodness. Anyway, well, I'll see you briefly at the end. Cheers. Good morning, Ian. How you doing?
Hi, Anthony. How are you doing?
Very well. Well,
Great.
I'm sitting here having my morning coffee, and I think you're probably in your afternoon wind down.
Yeah, well, I'm still actually I had quite a hard day, so I'm still having coffee. I haven't stopped since the morning, so.
I just saw the upload of the Frost Bridge stretch goals, and they look amazing. Loving that.
Great. Yes, we put that delivery up now, and we've got a lot more ready to go, but the thing is, it's just too heavy on the file sizes. Is about a gigabyte more.
I think the way that you go through all of these and you get them up so quickly, it is amazing, and I know you work extremely hard at this. So as always, hats off for a fantastic campaign for the Frost.
Hey, you're giving the secret sauce away. It's hard work, you know.
It is hard work.
That's all it takes.
And I mean,
but that's the secret ingredient.
Well, I think you must.
What's the trick? You know, hard work. I've sort of been at it for 4 or 5 years now. The earlier Kickstarters, you know, I look a bit down on them, you know, because the technology has been changing so much, and the way I've been scouting, even the software, you know, it's improved so much. Before I was very limited with the amount of pixels. I remember going back about 4 years back, I did this SketchUp 3D model thing. On ZBrush, not SketchUp, sorry, but like a bit of a sketch. And I actually typed out, I'm really sorry, but you know, I had to keep the definition down. Otherwise, if I try to print this, it will all sort of slog down, and it won't. And this is like 4 years back. Yeah. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you know, I'm working with 1 million polygons, which is what I'm sort of. That's like the minimum, because if you actually get many pieces, many parts of a large project and add 1 million, 2 million here, I end up working with 30, 40 million polygons at one time, you know, just to see how everything combines together, and it all works so smoothly now. Yeah. And that's just with 4 years of advancement in technology, you know. So I tend to look a bit down on the old projects. That's why I'm very picky. I retire the old projects, and then I get into trouble with my backers because
it's like, where's that gone?
Yeah. I won the wrong Kickstarter. How can I get it? You can't. You know, I really hate answering and start saying negatives. You know, and you can't. But you know, sometimes I feel that I have to keep that level of quality and keep up with the technology. So I really need to retire things, and with popular things that are in demand, and I do get a lot of people coming to me and say, oh, I really want this, you know, bring it back. I will bring it back. I remaster it, remake it, feel happy with it myself, and only when I'm happy with it. Because you know how it feels to actually look at the Facebook group posts and all the social media and see your models, and you're not happy with that model. It feels disastrous, you know. But when you see a model and you see that the users actually printed it and enjoyed it and painted it and is actually using it in his environment and tabletop games with his friends, it is spectacular. That feeling is spectacular, and that's what I go for, you know. But if I see a model and the things which aren't up to scratch, retire that,
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're going through there. I mean, I haven't done any of the modeling stuff. I have used SketchUp. That was frightening. And
frightening.
Or Tinkercad. I've used Tinkercad to design a slightly bigger boggle set for my colleague Eddie. I know the same feeling from music software. All of the notation software for composing music. I look back at some of my old work and just go, wow, that needs a rework, or there's so many more things that I can do with it now, or the MIDI sounds that you can use to actually listen back to it. So much better now, where the old recordings they're cringy. We'll just show this piece, because I am absolutely in awe of this. This is one part of the upcoming Patreon launch for Tech Adapt Crafts, and this spiral top for this lamp is goddamn sexy. Oh my God. I love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, you'd already put a hole in through there. There's going to be a little LED light there. I've got one of my former students from last year, Kayla. Shout out to Kayla. She's making an LED light for me to put into this.
I call it cutting edge technology, but basically this is my new spree at trying something different. Basically, you can see all these spiral beams going upwards, which themselves form a support piece for the outside spiral structure. It's a bit of a new technique I thought I'd experiment with and throw at Anthony, see if he could actually print it. The spiral beam technique thing worked very well, I think. But you had an experience with it when you printed it, right? So you might talk about that.
Yeah, the first one I printed, it actually, what happened was my bed was not completely level, I don't think. By the time the temperature dropped overnight, it just started to lift off the bed a little, and then it got to about this point and knocked the whole thing off.
Yeah. But for our users, when you actually mention a temperature change, a fall off at nighttime, we have to say it can actually drop almost to 0 temperatures, right? 5 degrees.
It
makes a big difference.
I think that night it had got it down to about 10 degrees in the garage where I was printing this, and so that difference was massive. No.
So it's got a bit of an inside shaft.
It's got the
column.
It's got the two
that will
spirals.
allow you to put the cables and the light in.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to have a removable top or anything like that, because it gets too complicated up top with all those little beams spiraling around. Yeah, so basically you have to shift it like a ship in a bottle. Just shift the LED and the cable up the spire and it will pop up at the top. And then there is a little convenient shaft or to the side, which allows you to bring the cable out of the model. Little details like that, which sort of make your life easier, because otherwise you get a cable and the model will be lifting up, or you'd have to dig under the diorama. But if you're on a tabletop, you can't really dig down. So you really need that side shaft to get the cable out.
Well, I remember when you first showed it to me, I took one look at that and just went, oh, this is the one I'm gonna start. I'm gonna learn how to do LED lighting, and I'm gonna put a light in there. And he went, I'm already ahead of you.
Yeah.
And you told me about that up through there, and it's like, oh yes, that's beautiful.
One of the things I'm going for is trying to make miniatures with a basis fit on the actual terrain piece and allowing them to be able to be used within games.
Well, let's see if I can do this without actually having it fall off.
Yeah.
All right,
obviously, the bases are totally out of scale with that figure form. So you're going to have larger than normal steps, but at least 60% of the base will be held within the surface area. And if you're not drunk, you can actually hold it up.
I swear it's just coffee. It's just coffee.
It's coffee.
It's too early in the morning, but I suppose it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Anyway.
It is.
All right. So this is the first piece of a very large diorama that you are designing.
Well, you see,
with all of this that
this
we're
is
doing.
what's going to happen. You see, this is, I told you this was going to happen. I told you, I'm going to show a bit of the diorama off, just a little bit, and now you want more. You want to show
no, okay.
everything.
I'm not showing anything more. It's like, this is only the
but
first
we can talk
bit.
about it. We can talk about
lots more to go.
We can talk about it. You know, I mean, basically, that type of design is going to mark the future for my next campaign, my next crowdfunding campaign, which is going to be called Feywood, and that's going to be up on May. We're going to have a bit of change of plans. This is going to be like an announcement, because we're not going to go, I didn't say Kickstarter, because it's not really going to go on Kickstarter. It's actually going to go on My Mini Factory. I was quite lucky that I was approached by My Mini Factory, and they asked me if I could actually design a crowdfunding project just for the new beta system that they have. Basically, I've got a date with them and a date with you guys in May, where we'll be launching my next project, which will be called Feywood. And as part of that launch, I've involved Anthony in his new Patreon project, which is going to be about reviewing terrain and about being able to offer STL files so that you can start off and build terrains with them and basically get into the hobby, which I think is very interesting. But that apart, basically, this diorama is styled after the project that's coming now in May called Feywood.
So we've got the Feywood coming out on My Mini Factory.
Yes, early May, first week of May.
First week of May, and I remember saying that I was very disappointed that it wasn't actually a Star Wars theme because of the date that it's coming out. Yes.
We could give something away. I was aiming for a Star Wars campaign. Still waiting on the licensing on that.
Yep. Well, hopefully.
So I wanted to launch this Star Wars campaign on May the 4th.
Yes.
So failing that, I'm going to launch Feywood on May the 4th.
Failing. Oh my God. Really? That was a good one. I like that.
It's gonna be May the 4th, but it's not gonna be Star Wars this time. Yeah.
No, but hey, it could be Ewoks. There could be, you know, there's a Jabba walk. Maybe it could just be a Jabba Ewok.
Oh gosh.
Jabby walk. Anyway.
Some of the things that we're getting on the Facebook group, wanted to tend to this live, you know. They're talking about, pointy ears.
Yep.
Well, I wasn't really going for elves, you know. I'm going for Fey, which is slightly different. Fey, as
and they do have bigger ears.
Celtic, because they are associated with wildlife, being like wild creatures, you know.
Yep.
And you know, some people are going a bit conservative about it, you know, and they're saying, well, I mean, I'd like them to have tinier ears, but you also have to think about the printing behind the thing. You can either have long, thicker ears or small, elfy ears. You know, you can't have an in-between because it will fail to print because they're not thick enough. The ear will be just as big as the support practically. So there's also printing elements into that design. So, you know, I mean, it's a feature which I think, I mean, if you're going to do elves and they have pointy ears, let's see them, you know. I was going to write something on the Facebook group and say, yeah, he's well endowed, you know, or something like that, you know.
Well, somebody did mention about the similarities there with elves and dwarves. You know, dwarves love their long beards.
Antonio Martorelli.
Yes. So elves, obviously, they venerate the bigger the ear, the more impressive the elf. I liked it. It was good.
Yep.
To me, it's always about the story. If you can tell a story just by looking at the model,
exactly,
that's a win.
When you actually sculpt something up, being in terrain or a miniature, it has to tell a story, and it's no good just putting a little plaque underneath or typing something up when you post it. And you could have all kinds of depth in your campaign just by using these characters. And then finally, last thing I want to say is there are hundreds of elves out there which are finely sculpted. Go to Patreon. Beautiful sculpts by my colleagues, you know, out there doing wonderful work. They all have little short ears. Some of them have longer ears, yes.
Yep.
But
It's good to be
let's
different.
do something different. Let's do something different. Accept my style. Try to integrate new things into your campaign, and it will work wonderfully.
Yeah.
Take my cue, please.
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely the good way to look at it. These are not elves. These are not the traditional elves. These are fey creatures. These are fairies. They're meant to be something slightly different. You can use them as elves, or you can use them as Eladrin. You can play.
Well, you can always clip their ears off. Honestly.
Yeah, there's that. Hey, look,
yeah.
just, you know,
I mean,
tools. Let's just
do
with those ears
these
what you
ears
will.
are like 3 millimeters print size,
Yep.
3-4 millimeters.
Yep.
Well, perhaps a bit longer, 4 millimeters. So you can easily snip them at the back, and
Just
you'll get
sculpt it
little
over.
fine Rivendell elf ears.
The Patreon TAC Adapt Crafts will it'll be launched at the end of April, at least the last week of April. But
Last week of April, yes.
Yeah, the first live month where we'll have a model and we'll have a painting tutorial on that will be the first week of May, to coincide with the launch of the My Mini Factory. So we'll get that out on the 1st of May, so that there's at least a couple of days there before your launch. So last week of April, the Patreon will go live, and the first live month for download will be the first week.
Okay,
of
and
May.
I've got to ask you, I will review it myself. What does the Patreon include?
I'm really pleased that you asked that question. Okay, so there will be the model from you, which again, so grateful to be partnering up with you. That's something that
that's going to be an exclusive Lovecraft terrain piece, specifically geared towards it being a diorama, which you will actually tutorial and serve the files. Well, I'll let you talk about that. But basically, it's going to be a Lovecraft terrain exclusive Lovecraft terrain piece only available on Anthony's TAC Adapt Crafts Patreon.
Yeah,
and just for a couple of bucks, by the way.
For just a few dollars, it'll be an amazing model from Ian and a painting tutorial from me. There'll probably be some extra little videos in there that we'll do as we go, just talking about design process and what's coming up, and the models that Ian is designing each month, and we will go from there.
It's the full package, really. Models, how to print, how to paint, exceptional.
And lovely to chat, and really hope that we can keep this going and have some lovely discussion on the models that you are making and the campaigns that you are running, and the models that I'm painting for Patreon. This is the beginning of something very fun.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I'm really happy to have shared this moment with you and all your audience. And yes, definitely, we should make it a repeat if we haven't bored people to death, you know. And remember, guys, paint your minis.
Oh, paint, yes,
minis.
paint.
Okay, cheers, have fun.
See you later.
Thank you for watching the interview, and if you did enjoy that, make sure that you check out our Patreon, TAC Adapt Crafts, when that goes live at the end of April. Also, you can check out Ian's Facebook group, I Love 3D Printing, and I'll have the link in the description. A few photos here of what TAC has achieved over this past year, and I really have to say I'm very, very proud with how much I've been able to accomplish in this year. It is certainly a lot more completed works than I have done in the previous few years. So if nothing else, doing this has forced me to get all of those things finished, which has been wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next chapter of TAC Adapt Crafts. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.